Hello students and welcome to the class of business study. In this video we will again continue with the same chapter, that is chapter 4th, planning, and this is the second video of chapter 4, planning, in which we are going to finish these two topics, that is limitations of planning and process of planning. In the previous video we did importance and features of planning. Okay, now starting with limitations of planning, you can see in this flow chart that these are some of the limitations of the planning, and which we are going to do one by one. That is, first is planning leads to rigidity. When we say rigidity, means any kind of decisions which does not require any changes, or the decisions which are not going to change, it will stay or it will remain same only. So there is no flexibility. In an organization, a well-defined plan is made actually, and this well-defined plan is made actually by all the management committee or the managers taking proper decisions regarding the future aspects of the organization, regarding the benefits or gain or profit of the organization. So this well-defined plan is drawn up with the specific goal. That means there must be certain aims or objectives of the organization, and accordingly these plans are made or devised. So to be achieved within a specific time. That means each and every organization tries hard to achieve these aims or objective within a specified time or the goals, but managers may not be in a position to change it. That means, as I said, that planning leads to rigidity. This is one of the drawback or limitation of planning. So these plans cannot be changed before time, or that these plans cannot be changed, or a manager is not in a position to change the plans. So as the business environment is dynamic, but when we say that plans are rigid, plans are not, once they are made, they are not going to change the plans. It is not in their hands to change the plans. But the business environment, which we did in chapter 3rd, it is dynamic. That means it is flexible, it is keep on changing. So when we say plans are not changing, but the business environment, it is keep on changing in terms of change in taste, change in fashion, habit, trends, political parties. So many kind of influences are there. It can be legal, economic environment, political environment, or a social environment. So when changes are made in the atmosphere, in the environment, and plans are not changed, so it leads to rigidity. And because of this, some flexibility must be there in the plans, so to change or to adapt the organization with the change in environment. And if they are not going to change the plans, then they will not have maximum profit, or they cannot achieve their goal. It is one of the drawbacks. Now second is, plannings may not work in dynamic environment. That is, whenever plans are made, they are actually kind of decision making, okay, by the managers. So when they formulate or frame the plans, they are not going to change the plans. But planning may not work in dynamic environment. That means if plans are constantly changing, that means because of change in environment, because of flexibility in the atmosphere, and because of so many factors which influence the business, if they are keep on changing, plans cannot be changed accordingly. That means every time they are not in the habit of making so many kinds of plans. So planning may not be a good aspect, or may not work in the dynamic or flexible environment. Planning is based on anticipation. That means, of course, when we say planning, it is decision making. It is mere assumptions or anticipations. We anticipate the future, that something can happen, and accordingly the plans are made. If that particular thing is not going to happen, then the plans will fail. Okay. So it is future anticipation and happening, since future is uncertain, and we always say that we cannot predict future. We cannot predict the environment, we cannot change the minds of the customers or any kind of factors, we cannot change it. It is not in the hands of the business, organization, or managers, or anybody. So it is uncertain future, and it is dynamic. So the organization need to adopt itself. That means the organization need to adopt themselves or adapt themselves with the circumstances or with the changes present in atmosphere. However, planning cannot be foreseen the future events effectively. That means the planning part or the decision making process cannot be effectively done if there is lot of changes happening in the future. Third is, planning reduces creativity. When we say creativity, means it is actually a kind of skill or specialization which resides with the managers, that they are trying to make such kind of plan which can be used or which can be adapted with all kinds of circumstances or the factors. So planning actually involves some creativity. But when we say the drawback side, if we see, the planning reduces creativity. That means a person or a manager who is making plans or who is formulating plans, he cannot be very creative in that aspect. The top management does planning and middle management does implementation of plan. That means all the planning part, all the decision making are taken by the top level managers only. The middle level managers, they need to follow those plans which are already made by the top level managers, but they are not allowed to deviate, that means to change. That means the middle level and the lower level management, their duty is to follow whatever plans which are made by the top level manager. So middle level and lower level management, they cannot change the plans according to their own decisions, and thus creativity of these managers get reduced. Creativity of the managers who are there in middle level and lower level, their creativity gets reduced because they cannot deviate or change the plans which are already formulated by the top level. Then planning involves huge cost. Cost means expenses. So actually whenever the managers are making plans, it actually involves certain creativity, skills and various resources they need to make those plans actually possible. So it requires cost, that means it is very expensive affair. Huge costs are involved in the formulation of the plans. Detailed plans require scientific calculator. That means whenever they are making a long time plan, that is for one financial accounting year, so they require scientific techniques, that is it requires calculator to ascertain the whole data, that how the plans could be implemented. Sometimes the expenses or costs incurred on planning doesn't justify the benefits derived. That means sometimes whatever techniques they are using, it is not giving them the proper benefit, and but still they are bearing the expenses. So planning actually involves huge cost. Then planning is a time consuming process. Of course, whenever we decide something, we require, it is an intellectual process actually. We require so much thinking. That means we are thinking again and again, taking all those aspects which we require to maximize the benefit of the organizations. So it requires constantly decision making, constantly thinking over and again. So it is a time consuming process. Many aspects need to be considered while formulating a plan. That means they need to see and look after each and every aspect which requires time, and hence it is a very time consuming process, that is planning. Then sixth is planning does not guarantee success. That means when we talk about planning, we cannot guarantee that whatever plans we have made, that will be successful. Okay, all our plans are not always successful. Sometimes we face failures also, because future is uncertain and it applies on all, that is it is a pervasive concept, that is planning. So it acquires everything. That means it is applicable on each and every aspect. So planning never guarantee success. The success of an enterprise is possible only when plans are properly drawn. That means whenever a manager is very skillful, very creative, very intellectual, and whatever plans he is making, that is perfect plan, then only its application or the formulation of those plans will have success and it can be effectively implemented. Managers tend to apply the previously tried and tested plans. That means manager needs to see whatever he has experienced or the previous plans which were actually tested. Okay, just like if we are doing a scientific experiment, we need to see what the future, in the past, whatever scientists have experimented, have tested, we study that and accordingly we try to formulate our plans. So it is tried and tested aspect. But a plan successful before may not be successful. That means a plan may be successful or it may not be successful. It all depends on future only. So we can say that planning does not guarantee success. Now after finishing the limitation, now our second topic is process of planning or planning process. Now in which the first topic is setting objective. That means first step. When we say process, it is actually a procedure which have various steps. The first step is the setting of objectives. Objectives means aim. So specifying the objectives that the organization want to achieve. That means an organization, an enterprise must have certain aims or objective. Then only they will try to fulfill. So the first step or first work for the enterprise before starting the planning process is to set their objectives. Just like after 12th, what you wanted to do, or after 10th, what you wanted to do, you first set up plans. That means you must have an aim that I wanted to become CA, I wanted to go with for medical, or I wanted to go for engineering or whatever stream. Then only you will plan accordingly your future endeavors. So specify the objective. The first task of enterprises is to set the objectives, set the aims. Then setting objectives for the entire organization and each department. That means they need to set or make their aims or objective for each and every department, division. All department, division have some individual or individual aims also, and they have some common goals also. That means the whole enterprises have common goals also. And what is the common goal? For the success of the organization. So they need to make the plans for each department, units and employees, state the objectives of the organization very clearly, and they must set all the objectives very clear. Objectives or aims of the organization must be very clear to each and every department and employees, and determine how all departments would contribute. That means how all the employees, that is in various department and division, whatever employees are there, so all those employees, how they are going to implement the plan. To implement means to start, to initiate, how they are going to do that according to the plan. Okay. So their work and their activities of each department is actually laid down in the form of plans. Then objectives have to percolate down to each unit and employees at all levels, so that they understand how their action would contribute towards achieving object. That means each and every plan must be very clear to each and every department, and accordingly they set all their activities. That means what kind of steps will be involved in achieving these aims, okay, which is there for each and every department and each unit and employees at all levels. There are 3 levels of management, that is top level, middle level and supervisory or lower level. So for each level, for each departments, the plans or aims are fixed, okay, beforehand, and after that they need to think about what kind of activities or steps they will involve to complete those aims or to fulfill those aims. Managers must contribute ideas. Here managers have a great role, that they must encourage or they must motivate all the employees, all the department towards the achievement of the organizational goals to each and every unit, and participate in the objective. That means he must take suggestions, take views and ideas from each and every employees just to set the aims. Example, setting sales target. That means whenever a manager tries to set a sales target, new product launch, business expansion to new territories. So before doing all this, he must set everything, he must see all the aspects. Second is developing premises. When we say premises means it can be any building or any kind of construction. So planning is a future oriented activity. That means whatever we are planning for future, we are planning, okay, beforehand we are planning for each and every steps. And the future is uncertain. We all know that future is uncertain. So therefore the managers are required to make certain assumptions, that is some assumptions to assume, okay, to think beforehand. So the managers required to make certain assumptions while drafting or while framing the plans. That means before writing or before making all the plans, the manager must see the future and accordingly he must make the plans. These assumptions about the future are called premises. That means whatever assumptions he is making for the future, okay, so that can be called as a premises. And these are the base material upon which plans are, and on these base only the plans are actually made. All managers involved in planning should be familiar with the same assumptions and they all must agree. That means all the managers must agree with the plans whatever is made by the top level managers. And for example, forecasting is a technique used for gathering. Forecasting means when we try to forecast or predict the future, that what is going to happen in the future. So forecasting, it is a kind of technique or method used for gathering, that is collecting information to develop the premises. Now here premises means the base on which you are framing the plan. An organization uses various forecasts. That means an organization is supposed to use various forecasts such as the changes in policy. That means before framing the plan, they need to see that in future if any kind of government policies is going to change, then what will be our step or what will be our plans. So policy changes, they need to see new markets, demand of a product, customers' view, customers' opinion, changes in the minds of customer, every aspect they need to see before making the plans. Accuracy of forecast is necessary for successful plans. That means they must be very accurate that what is going to happen in the future. When we say accurate means they must be perfect, they must be very good in calculating what is going to happen in the future. Then only accordingly they make plans and their plans are successful. Third is identifying alternative course of action. That means as we discuss in limitation of planning, that planning are rigid aspect. It is not cannot be applied in flexible environment. So when we say identifying alternative, that means there are various ways of doing an action. So each and every manager, it is his duty to frame a plan accordingly, so that if there is any change in the business environment in future, okay, they can devise or they can deviate their plans accordingly. They must adapt with all those circumstances. So their plans must be having some alternative course of action also along with. Once objectives are set, assumptions are made, and then alternative course of action is determined. That means once they have framed the plans, once they have formulated the plans, then accordingly they used to follow those plans. But before that they must assume the environment or the changes which is going to happen in the environment. Managers must identify all. That means it is in the hands of manager. It is his creativeness that he must identify all the course of action. That is, what can be the changes, he must identify all those aspects, and accordingly he must set the objectives and make the plans. The course of action may be routine or innovative. That means the course of action, whatever action plans which he is making, it must have certain alternatives, certain options, and it must be very innovative. Innovative means bringing some new ideas and new technique. Innovative course can be adopted by involving more people and sharing their ideas. Now here people means the employees. So it is the duty of the manager to make the plan successful. He must see all the aspects which are going to change in the future, and with that, along with that, he must take suggestions or seek ideas or opinions of other people. He must share these plans with at least some few people who can give their better opinion. Then the plans can be made or devised accordingly. Fourth is evaluating alternative course of action. Whenever they have planned for alternative, that means an alternate plan when they have tried to, or when they have formulated, they must evaluate it. That means they must check whether this second plan or third plan, if anything happens in the future, it is in the hands of the manager that he is trying to make 3 or 4 or 5 plans. Okay. So let's see if there is some change in the future in the business environment. So he can change his plan from first to second, or it must be very flexible. So the next step is to evaluate. That means to actually check the plans which they have made, and evaluating with all the pros and cons, all the advantages as well as disadvantages. He must see both the things, then only he should make the plan, and each and every alternative course of action. Positive and negative aspect of each proposal is to be evaluated. Proposal here means suggestion. That means it can be many suggestions, there can be many alternative plans. Okay, so he must see positive as well as negative aspect of each and every plan, then only he must formulate the plan. Then example, like in financial decisions, risk return trade-off are important. Riskier the investment, higher the returns. That means it depends on, if you are taking more risk, then you can have good result, better results. Then to evaluate such proposal, detailed calculation of earning, taxes, earning per share, dividend are made, and then decision is taken. That means he must see each and every aspect, whether whenever the plans are made, it must not be very expensive affair, and after that, after so much expenses they did and they are not getting the benefit. So he must see each and every aspect, whether the plans will be successful or not, taking care of all the positive and negative, pros and cons of each and everything, and making a right decision, correct decisions, and taking care of that, minimizing the risk. Now fifth is selecting the best alternative. After alternative course of action, evaluating them, now from all those action plans he need to select the best plan for the organization. The best plan from all the alternatives is selected and implemented. That means it is being followed up. The ideal plan is the most. That means when we talk about the best or accurate plan, it is called as ideal plan, which have many features which can whenever it is implemented, it will bring maximum profit for the organization. So it must be feasible idea, profitable and with least negative consequences. That means the plans whatever they are selecting from variety of plans, it must be feasible, that is it must be properly implemented, it must be accurate, it must bring some profit for the organization, and the negative consequences or effects must be less or reduced. In most plans, drawing a mathematical analysis is not possible. That means in maximum plans, we are actually, whenever the manager is drawing a plan or formulating a plan, he must see the mathematical aspects also, including calculation and expenses. So hence managers experience judgment. That means with making plans, the manager is able to judge the things, that is his judgment is clear. Intuition plays an important role. Intuition here means when it's happened that we are predicting the future, that means we have an intuition, a sixth sense which tells that such kind of things will be going to happen in the future. So intuition plays a major role whenever the manager is making the plans in selecting the most viable, most accurate and proper plans. Okay, before selecting and implementing, intuition plays a major role, and we are making intuition for future. Okay, sometimes a combination of plans may be selected instead of one best. That means sometimes we are combining 2 or 3 plans and making one plan possible. Sixth is implementing the plan. Now after evaluating, after selecting, we are going to implement the plans. Finally we are going to implement the plans. In this step, the best plan is implemented, putting plan into action. When we say planning, it is actually action plans only. Okay, so finally now this plans is put to action. Managers start organizing and assembling resources. That means according to plans, when they wanted to implement the plans, or finally they need to acquire, or they need to collect all the resources which are required for implementing that particular plan. Example, if there is a plan to increase production, that means for example, if the firm or the manager or the enterprises need to increase the production, that is volume of the goods, then more labor, that means for increasing the production they need to acquire certain resources, that is they need more labors, more machineries will be required, more equipments will be required, more raw materials will be required to increase the production. So beforehand they need to acquire, or they need to gather all those things which by which they can increase the production. This step would also involve organizing. That means of course whenever they need more production, or they wanted to have more production, they require more laborers, more raw materials, more resources, more finance. So they need to organize everything, okay, set everything before making the or implementing the plans. Now last thing which is there in the planning process is, after doing each and everything, selecting, collecting the resources, implementing the plans finally, then now it requires a feedback, that is a follow-up we can say, that we wanted to see whether the plans whatever we have implemented is going to bring good result, is bringing actually a good result or not. When we try to evaluate or check it, it can be called as a follow-up action. Involves monitoring, that is supervising the implemented plans, and ensuring, that is trying to ensure that the activities are being performed according to the schedule. Now here schedule is the timetable which accordingly which we have a specified time which we require to implement the plans. That means whenever finally they have implemented the plan, they need to see whether according to the plan the schedule is going on or not. They need to monitor or supervise this. Continuous monitoring, that means whenever the plans are made, it requires continuous monitoring whether the actual performance is done according to the planned performance or not. So they require continuous monitoring, is required to find out deviations. That means if whatever we have planned, the planned performance and the actual performance, okay, we have planned something and what is we are doing practically, in between both of them, if there are certain changes, certain deviations, then they need to see those deviations and they need to check out those deviations also from plans, and corrective actions, that is solutions or corrective actions should be done for that and has to be taken to achieve the organizational objectives. Suppose for example they have planned for 500 units of the goods, but practically what happened, it was only 478. That means what was the reason behind these deviations. They need to see, they need to check out those deviations, and they need to give a remedial action or a solution for those problems. Then only they can maximize their benefit and can have or can achieve their organizational objectives. So dear students, here we have finished two topics, limitations of planning and process of planning. So I just want go through the videos and learn good things. Till then, we will meet again in the next video. Thank you. Goodbye.